This is the honesty that I planted out. It was doing really well and it's got really crunchy, but there's still lots of green ones and new bits coming. So I hope it's going to survive. It just has to hold on a little bit longer. My problem is I got this seed online and it came in a pack much like this, unlabeled, obviously just from someone's garden. And it looks so different from the honesty that I have growing in my garden. And the one in my garden has already flowered and given me seed, and this is still just leafing out. So I'm not actually sure if I've been sold the wrong thing, which I'd be really annoyed if I have. My forehead is filthy. If I have, because it cost me a lot. And it was really hard to find the seed. That was the only place I could find it. But like I said, my one in my garden, which I bought a couple of years ago as an actual developed plant, has already flowered and given me seed, and I collected that seed, and so I'm going to put some of that in here, and just in case this isn't the right stuff, I've got the spot behind it because my little blue thistly ball things, what were they called, echinops, didn't do anything. They didn't germinate for me at all. So I have this space at the back, so I'm going to go ahead and put in some of these, which I know are the honesty that I want, and just hope that this might come up for me maybe next year in spring, if this does nothing or turns out to be a completely random plant. Who knows? And the last seeds I'm going to put in today are sunflower seeds. Now these are the F1 Sunrich Up varieties that I tried to start at home, and I actually reseeded them twice and they just didn't do anything. They didn't germinate at all, and I dug through the pots and the seeds were there. They weren't rotten, they weren't gooey, they just weren't really doing anything. So I mean, they might still do something, I just really doubt it, because these are supposed to be 45-day sunflowers, or 60-day possibly sunflowers, so they should be doing something by now. So I've given up trying to start them at home, and I've only got a few of these seeds left. I don't know, maybe they heard me talk about how much I dislike sunflower. I mean, do your seeds listen to you? I don't know. They say plants grow better if you talk to them. Maybe they don't grow if you say mean things about them, and this is my fault. I mean, I live in a Buddhist country, we believe in karma, huh? So, I don't know. They didn't work. I'm going to try and direct sow them and see if I can get the last of these to come up. If I only end up with a few sunflower, I don't mind so much, because, yeah, I don't like them anyway. They were filling in a spot. But I just don't understand why they didn't germinate. If you've grown these ones and you've had problems with them germinating, please let me know. Or if you think I'm just doing it totally wrong, also let me know. That would be great. Thanks. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to things that I actually started off at home, and this is some foliage stuff. So behind me you can see this purple shiso, which I didn't plant. It's self-seeded here from some of the other gardens, but I like it as a foliage plant. It's going mad and taking over this whole area. But in front of that is where I had planted my somewhat similar opal basil, my purple basil, ornamental basil I think it's called. And only two of them have come, and one of them is tiny, you can hardly see it, and this one is not looking very healthy. So I have reseeded some, and confusingly it's come up green, but you can see there's some purple in the middle. These are really small, but I'm going to put them out anyway because I don't trust this potting soil. Now I'm so scared everything's just going to go bad. So I am going to put these out. Behind this is the gomphrena. Now I've only got 4 of those, although I think some of them double seeded, so I've got 5 plants there. Now I've grown this before, and I know that 2 plants give me a massive amount. They just really fill out and take over the space. So those few plants hopefully will give me so much gomphrena in the autumn. So I will go ahead and plant out my purple basil and my gomphrena. This spot is quite weedy, but I don't have time. My kids are on summer holidays and I don't have much time in the garden, so I have to choose between planting stuff out or constantly weeding. And it's really disheartening when you come down and every week you're spending an hour, 2 hours weeding the garden. It's grass that's just growing up so quickly, and I feel like I get it all looking great, and then when I come back it looks exactly the same, and my plants have grown about this much and the weeds have just taken over again. So I'm kind of giving up a little and saying, look, if I can clear the area around my plants, I don't care about the other bits. The other bits can go grassy and weedy. I'm just clearing out what I need to so that I can actually have the time to put some stuff in the ground. Otherwise, I'll end up with a weed-free patch of soil with no plants at all. You can see when I'm digging in here that this soil is so dry because it is hotter than the face of the sun in Japan right now. But I have given my plants a really good water. You can see there's still a lot of water there, and it's very damp soil that they're in. And you can see, although they're small, they do have good roots on them coming out the bottom there. So these little wet clumps should be enough, hopefully, to get them started in the very wet soil. Obviously, I'll water it once they're in as well. My Christ, it's hot though. Okay, next is another foliage, and this is my Amaranth, which has just today gone a bit mad and sorry, hands. Gone a bit mad and twirly and maybe not very happy, but that's okay because I don't think I actually need that much. And when I plant it, I will plant it right up to the first set of leaves, so hopefully that whole stalk will be underground and that will help it come up straight and stronger. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. Again, I would have preferred the Love Lies Bleeding or the Hot Biscuits type, and I just couldn't find that. So I've ended up with this, but velvet curtains, yeah. I mean, it looks nice, it's autumny colour, it goes nicely with my Rudbeckia and my Dahlia and my Chrysanthemum actually, and just gives me a really, really late autumn and winter foliage, because this goes right to the end of the season for me. But it does get absolutely massive, and again, this is one you definitely need to pinch or you will end up with big broom handles that you cannot use, so you really need to pinch this. I'll pinch this probably in a couple of weeks when it gets a little bit taller, and then the side shoots come up a lot smaller than the main one in the middle, which is just unusable in flower arranging, really. And the last thing to go in is these marigolds, which again have gone a bit wonky and are quite leggy. But again, when I plant these, I'll plant them right up to the first set of leaves. So hopefully that'll help them straighten out and get stronger a little bit. Originally, when I started my seeds, noisy motorbike, when I started my seeds, I'd started some African marigolds, which were a kind of very pale, almost white one, and some French marigolds, which were a bit more like a Rudbeckia triforbia, kind of long and spindly. But they were with 2-year-old seeds that I had just not got around to planting in other seasons, and they didn't germinate at all. I think I had one and it got wet off. It didn't like it at all. So I went out and bought some more African marigolds, and these are much more marigoldy colours, not really my thing, but again, very autumnal. And this was just an experiment to see if I liked these and how they would grow here. So although they're not the perfect colour, although there is a lighter one in there, this one, they're not the perfect colours, but it's all I could get, so it's what I'm going to grow to see if I like them, and if I do, then I'll go for the nicer ones next year again. So these have done really well. Just in the last week they've kind of sprouted, which is why they're looking like this, but they really want out of this tray, so let's get them in the ground as well. Here we go. So that is all of the seeds that I started at home now planted out. I've got my Gomphrena, my ornamental purple basil, my Amaranth, my Marigolds, and I reseeded 3 of the types of Zinnia and my Honesty. So hopefully that will all take me right through, but not quite to the end of the season. When I get into August, I am going to be carrying on with my pansy experiment, my pansy and violas. Now I started it this spring and I had limited success, but I have gone in again. I've got a whole new dose of varieties. I've researched it a bit more and I'm really looking forward to starting them again. And I have some of the little ornamental cabbages that I'm going to be planting as well. And hopefully that will take me right through to January. But now I need to go and cut back all of these flowers, because what's the point in growing them if I don't have time to cut them? So I'm going to go and cut these. I'm going to give the garden a really good drink because it is so hot here. And then I'm going to go give me a really good drink because it's so hot here. If you want to follow along and see how everything does, please remember to hit the subscribe button below. If you want to see what I do with all of my flowers once I cut them, you can check out my Instagram, which is From the Witch's Garden, and there is a link below that. I say I'm going to water my garden. Obviously you just saw Key. He's going to water my garden for me. And that is all from me this week, so I will see you guys next week. Bye!